My name is Karel Frakapan and I work for UNESCO. It is my pleasure to welcome you from UNESCO headquarters in Paris to the online opening of the exhibition Lest We Forget. Lest We Forget is a Holocaust memorial project by German photographer Luigi Toscano, consisting of personal testimonies and photo portraits of survivors of the Holocaust and other crimes perpetrated by the Nazi regime and its collaborators. The exhibition is presented at UNESCO in the context of the International Day of Commemoration in memory of the victims of the Holocaust, which, on 27 January, will mark the 76th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz-Birkenau by the Soviet troops. You can see some of the portraits behind me. About 200 of them are displayed outside the building for the public to see. I want to thank Austria, Germany, the European Union, France, and the World Jewish Congress for supporting this outstanding initiative. Mesdames et messieurs, cette exposition est dédiée aux rescapés. En témoignant, en laissant leurs portraits et leurs mots à Luigi Toscano, ils œuvrent au service d'une cause de vérité et de justice, souvent contre l'oubli et contre les silences coupables. Leur parole est essentielle. Ils sont la voix qui nous lie encore au passé des communautés juives disparues. Ils sont l'écho de tous les destins interrompus et de ces vies dont les nazis ont voulu faire disparaître jusqu'à la trace. Cette œuvre de transmission est au cœur du mandat de l'UNESCO. Nous le savons tous, le travail de mémoire et l'éducation sont des clés de voûte d'un monde plus solidaire et plus vigilant face aux nouveaux dangers qui nous guettent. Sans plus attendre, j'ai l'honneur de donner la parole à Madame Audrey Azoulay, directrice générale de l'UNESCO. Son intervention sera suivie d'un court film qui nous permettra d'explorer plus en détail le travail de Luigi Toscano.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it's a deeply moving experience to be welcoming this exhibition, Lest We Forget, to UNESCO headquarters here in Paris for the International Day of Commemoration in memory of the victims of Holocaust. I would like first to thank all those who have made this exhibition possible, the World Jewish Congress, one of our most steadfast partners, along with Austria, France, Germany, the European Union. And of course, I would like to thank Luigi Toscano, who traveled the world to gather these images. Through his work, he helps preserve the memory of the victims in all their singularity. And lastly, and most importantly, I would like to thank the Holocaust survivors who have let their faces be used once again to bear witness to the Shoah in a new way. Through this exceptional installation, there are 200 portraits called to us, remind us of our duty, and convey a simple yet essential appeal, lest we forget. Faces, according to French philosopher Emmanuel Levinas, give rise to responsibility. Faces are ethical imperatives which call us to account. And it is our responsibility that is in question, our individual and collective responsibility to remember all those whose faces never grew old, to remember them and each and every one of them. Mesdames et messieurs, à travers ces visages de survivants, ce sont aussi ceux des millions de victimes assassinées, en très grande majorité juives, que nous voyons surgir, autant d'hommes, de femmes, d'enfants, dont l'avenir a été volé, piétiné, anéanti. Autant de personnes dont on ne connaîtra pas les visages, marquées par l'âge de survivants d'aujourd'hui. Autant d'individus qui auraient pu emprunter les mots de Benjamin Fondan, assassiné à Auschwitz en 1944, et je le cite, « Souvenez-vous seulement que j'étais innocent, et que tout comme vous, mortel ce jour-là, j'avais eu moi aussi un visage marqué par la colère, par la pitié, la joie, un visage d'homme tout simplement. » C'est le travail inlassable des historiens que de redonner leur visage, leur nom et leur histoire à ceux que les nazis ont cherché à réduire à un numéro, à une étiquette, à effacer dans leur individualité. Et c'est tout le sens de l'engagement de l'UNESCO de porter ces témoignages, de les porter auprès du public, le porter ici dans ce hall de l'UNESCO, mais aussi dans la rue, car l'exposition est tout autour de l'UNESCO. Alors qu'à Paris, aujourd'hui, sous couvre-feu, tous les musées sont fermés, nous faisons de l'UNESCO un lieu de mémoire à ciel ouvert, accessible à tous, pour faire œuvre de mémoire auprès de toutes et de tous, pour que jamais nous n'oublions. Je vous remercie de votre attention.
The activities undertaken by UNESCO in the framework of this International Day are supported by the permanent delegations of Austria and Germany to UNESCO and by the Austrian Cultural Forum in Paris. We are very honored to have received for this special occasion video messages from Heiko Maas, Federal Minister of Foreign Affairs of Germany, and of Mrs. Caroline Erstadler, Federal Minister for the European Union and Constitution of Austria.
Dear Audrey, ladies and gentlemen, friends, their eyes look at us. Nothing is said, but we can almost hear the voices of the women and men portrayed in the pictures. They appeal to us not to look away, not to be indifferent. Luigi Toscano shares with us his personal portraits of Holocaust survivors. No words are needed to make their echo resonate within us. Through his work, Luigi Toscano, together with his team, have captured their message. Lest we forget is much more than art. It is a reminder never to bury the past and an investment in a more peaceful future. Since wars begin in the minds of man, it is in the minds of man that the defenses of peace must be constructed. The UNESCO Constitution states. That is what this exhibition is all about. That is why it belongs at UNESCO. Tolerance and peace are built through dialogue and education. They are the most effective vaccine that we can give our young people against the virus of anti-Semitism, racism, and all other forms of prejudice. Some of the women and men whose portraits were seen in the exhibition still visit schools to share their personal life stories with young people. This is a great privilege, one for which we are deeply grateful. But we must also prepare for a future in which personal exchange with Holocaust survivors will no longer be possible. Their testimony lives on in these images. It is our responsibility as democrats, as fellow human beings, to preserve it. We owe that to the victims into whose eyes we are looking here today. And we owe it to our children, for whom the memory of our dark past holds the promise of a brighter future. Thank you.
This week we commemorate the victims of the Shoah, an unforgettable genocide and crime against humanity, against some 6 million Jewish people and countless other victims. Mothers, fathers, spouses, children, siblings, neighbors and compatriots, each with their own story and their own fate. The extermination of Jews in Europe has left us with a devastating legacy that obliges us to remember and to make every attempt to prevent such horrible crimes from ever happening again. Yet, almost 76 years after the liberation of Europe from Nazi dictatorship, we are still faced with rising anti-Semitism across the globe, not least in the light of the COVID-19 pandemic. And as time passes by, year after year, the world loses more and more of its witnesses to the greatest human tragedy in history. Witnesses that we so urgently need. Witnesses who can recall these darkest days of Europe and the world all over. The challenge of the coming years will therefore be to document their faces, their stories, their testimonies, and to find appropriate means to spread their powerful message about where anti-Semitism, racism, and other forms of discrimination can lead to. I dare say that the exhibition Lest We Forget contributes to this quest in a very suitable way. In the coming years, exhibitions like these will become even more important. Art imparts the tragedies of the Shoah with the necessary depth and credibility. It allows the broader public to engage with survivors in a personal, emotional, and tangible way, and thus relate directly to the terrible suffering of the victims of the Holocaust. It engages our responsibility directly. The Shoah is not something of the past. It is still with us, and the scars it has left are still present. Austria has a particular historical responsibility for protecting Jewish communities and commemorating what was lost in the Shoah. Today, we stand at the forefront of efforts to address anti-Semitism, racism, and any other form of discrimination, as well as violent extremism in a comprehensive manner, including through education, through culture, and through the intellectual and moral solidarity of humanity. We are determined more than ever to protect the values of democracy and human rights that ensure peace and sustainable development, uniting us with our partners in Europe, the United Nations and UNESCO.
Je me dis, comme nous ne sommes pas nombreux actuellement et qu'on veut laisser un souvenir pour les jeunes générations, qu'on a existé, qu'on a vécu et que nos parents, le fait qu'on en parle, nous, de nos parents, ils continuent à exister aussi. Depuis, ça fait maintenant une vingtaine d'années que j'interviens. Parce que sinon, on va disparaître, on va être oublié. Nos parents, nos grands-parents qui ont été assassinés vont être tous complètement oubliés. Et alors, sinon on en parle et on demande aux jeunes de se rappeler de cela, ils vont continuer à exister. Voilà.
Quand on arrivait à Birkenau, c'était pour ne plus en sortir. On était arrivé à Birkenau pour mourir à Birkenau, parce que Hitler voulait que la haine était tellement forte en lui envers les Juifs, c'est qu'il voulait que tous les Juifs d'Europe disparaissent. Il voulait tuer tous les Juifs d'Europe.
J'ai perdu 17 membres de ma famille rien qu'à Paris. En Pologne, ils ont tous été assassinés. Il n'est pas resté une seule personne. Et mon père est parti par le convoi numéro 5 à Auschwitz, donc parmi les premiers. Et lors de la rafle du Veldiv, je me suis échappée d'un centre de rassemblement avec ma sœur, parce que ma mère voulait qu'on s'échappe. Je ne voulais pas la quitter, j'avais peur. J'entendais les enfants hurler, pleurer, les cris des policiers. Alors, elle m'a giflé, ma mère m'a giflé, la seule gifle de ma vie. Et cette gifle, j'ai compris qu'elle m'a sauvé la vie.
Samuel Pisa, another survivor of the Holocaust and a late UNESCO honorary ambassador, once wrote, "The ashes of the death camps give us a glimpse of the spectre of the apocalypse. We can hear a call to vigilance and find inspiration to meet the challenges of our time. This, ladies and gentlemen, is precisely what UNESCO stands for. We promote education, remembrance, and research to counter extremist ideologies and their deadly propaganda today, and to prevent anti-Semitism, racism, and all other forms of prejudice. This work cannot be done without the contribution of member states and organizations committed to promoting such initiatives, and in that respect, I want to thank also France and the European Union for the support."
Madame la directrice générale de l'UNESCO, chère Audrey, Mesdames et Messieurs les ministres, chère Eiko, chère Caroline Edstadler, Mesdames et messieurs les ambassadrices, ambassadeurs, monsieur le président du Congrès juif mondial, mesdames et messieurs, c'est un grand honneur d'intervenir à l'occasion de cette cérémonie virtuelle d'inauguration de cette exposition photographique N'oublions pas de Luigi Toscano, accueillie par l'UNESCO à Paris. Merci à l'UNESCO pour cette initiative et ainsi qu'à l'ensemble des partenaires qui l'ont rendu possible. Je me réjouis de cette installation sur les façades extérieures de l'UNESCO. Ça va rendre visible au plus grand nombre cette œuvre. Alors, le 27 janvier, nous célébrons, comme chaque année, partout dans le monde, cette journée internationale dédiée à la mémoire des victimes de la Shoah. Et cette magnifique exposition de portraits de survivants de la persécution nazie est porteuse, je crois, d'un message très fort. Et la France est fière d'avoir contribué à son organisation. Elle permet d'illustrer la dimension très concrète de la barbarie nazie, qui s'exerçait non pas de façon abstraite, mais qui a visé des hommes, des femmes, des enfants, saisis chacun dans leur histoire respective, dans leur singularité. Alors montrer le visage des victimes de la Shoah, c'est lutter contre l'oubli, c'est faire œuvre essentielle. Alors bravo et merci à vous, Monsieur Toscano, pour ces portraits ainsi rassemblés qui contribuent de façon forte, touchante, émouvante. Et à l'heure où, précisément, les derniers survivants viennent à nous quitter, nous devons mesurer, je crois, la chance que nous avons de pouvoir bénéficier du témoignage de ces figures irremplaçables et puis travailler aussi à développer des moyens pour continuer à faire vivre cette mémoire à l'avenir pour les jeunes générations. Ce travail de mémoire, nous le devons à toutes les victimes. Et puis, il est aussi un appel à l'action, un appel à l'engagement dans une époque qui est marquée, hélas, par les fléaux encore des discriminations, de l'antisémitisme, du racisme, la montée des discours de haine. Et donc ce sont des sujets de préoccupation, de mobilisation aussi des pouvoirs publics, des sociétés civiles dans de nombreux pays. Cette exposition, elle nous offre donc un puissant message d'humanité, de dignité, d'éveil des consciences, et elle rappelle le devoir qui est le nôtre de contribuer chacun à la perpétuation de cette mémoire et de lutter contre toutes les formes contemporaines d'intolérance, de violence. Plus que jamais, ce travail en commun et cet échange d'expériences sont précieux pour relever ces défis, et l'UNESCO a un rôle éminent à jouer pour contribuer à enseigner, à transmettre, à cultiver cette vigilance par rapport aux dérives que l'on peut observer ici et là. Et au travers des projets et des ressources qu'elle développe, des échanges qu'elle suscite, des partenariats qu'elle entretient, je crois que l'UNESCO s'inscrit résolument dans cette perspective. Vous le savez, la détermination de la France, du président de la République sur ces sujets, elle est totale, au plan national comme au plan international. Emmanuel Macron, le 27 janvier dernier, au Mémorial à Paris, le disait. Il nous faut tout savoir pour tout dire, pour ne rien oublier et poursuivre la quête inlassable de milliers d'hommes et de femmes qui ne laisseront pas s'éteindre la flamme du souvenir. Vous pouvez compter sur notre engagement pour continuer à poursuivre ces efforts ensemble, au sein de l'UNESCO comme partout ailleurs. Je vous remercie.
Every year, we pay tribute to the memory of the victims of the Holocaust on the 27th of January. On behalf of the European Union, I want to thank UNESCO and the World Jewish Congress for organizing this very special exhibition this year. This powerful exhibition is a testament to the survivors. It captures their stories and gives a human face to the horror of the Holocaust. Last year for the commemoration, the presidents of the European Commission, the European Parliament and the European Council issued a powerful statement stating, "We cannot change history, but the lessons of history can change us." The promotion and protection of human rights, democracy and the rule of law can help us prevent the horror of the past from happening again. We must always be vigilant against signs of hatred and intolerance, including hate speech and disinformation campaigns. During the COVID-19 pandemic, we have seen a proliferation of anti-Semitic conspiracy theories and hate speech against Jews, in particular on social media. We have also seen abhorrent attempts in recent years to delegitimize history with Holocaust denial contests. The EU strongly condemns any Holocaust denial. It is insulting to the memory of the millions of people who died in the Holocaust. We are committed to fulfill our collective responsibility to ensure that never again are not just words, but our actions. This year, the European Commission will present a comprehensive EU strategy on combating anti-Semitism. This strategy will complement and support national strategies and actions of member states against anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism needs a holistic response where the European, national and local levels work hand in hand and where the fight against anti-Semitism is mainstreamed across policy areas. Just a few weeks ago, the European Union adopted a new external action plan for human rights and democracy for the next 5 years. The action plan makes clear that the EU is committed to use all its external policy and financial tools to combat all forms of racism and discrimination, as well as to promote the exchange of best practices and lessons learned with partner countries. The EU is committed to building its future actions on existing policies and tools. Examples include the Code of Conduct on combating hate speech with social media platforms, or initiatives against disinformation, the European Holocaust Research Infrastructure, the largest ever EU-funded research initiative on the Holocaust, and the Europe for Citizens programme, which finances awareness-raising actions about the Holocaust with up to €3.5 million. Multilateral action is needed to foster our common understanding of collective memory and to globally fight Holocaust denial, anti-Semitism, and all forms of discrimination. The EU will continue to work with all UN member states within the UN fora, including UNESCO, to maintain effective remembrance policies, to combat violent extremism, to protect historic and religious sites, and to promote education, documentation, and research about the Holocaust. We must always focus on what unites us, our shared pursuit of peace and prosperity, with the promotion and protection of human rights at the centre, enriched by our diversity. And we must never forget what can happen when we deny our common humanity. Thank you.
I now would like to give the floor to Mr. Peter Kurz, Lord Mayor of the city of Mannheim in Germany, without whom this exhibition would not have been possible. His remarks will be followed with a short declaration by the artist and exhibition curator, Mr. Luigi Toscano.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, in recent years, comparisons have been drawn between the current shift to the right in Europe and the rise of the fascist movements in the 1920s and 1930s. Even though Germany is an institutionally stable democracy that has been embedded for decades in the European Union, which sees itself as the garden of peace, understanding and human rights, current social developments should alarm us. In many countries, including Germany, we are witnessing the rise of right-wing populist and extreme right-wing parties, as well as the strengthening of anti-democratic, anti-liberal and anti-European forces. Our past and these developments show us how fragile our democracies are and how they must be defended every single day. With Lest We Forget, Luigi Toscano has created a stronghold against all downplaying, dismissing, ignoring and generalizing. I thank Luigi Toscano, who is a true ambassador of our city spirit, for his many years of commitment to a true culture of remembrance. The Victims' Generation has called upon us to hold high this culture of remembrance in our countries and in our cities. In Mannheim, the murder of expulsion of Jewish population forever altered the city's history. Before the Nazi regime came to power, Mannheim was home to one of the liveliest and strongest Jewish communities in Germany. More than 2,400 people, over a quarter of the Jewish population of Mannheim, were victims of racial persecution. We must remember them as fellow Mannheimers, neighbors, colleagues, friends and family. This is why we built a glass memorial cube with their names on it in our city center. Telling their stories is essential in defining who we want to be. Listening to their testimonies and faiths and letting them tell their stories through their portraits means that we stand firmly against hatred and the resurgence of racism around the world.
Hi, my name is Luigi Toscano. I'm the instigator and photographer of the project Lest We Forget. I have the great honor to be here on the UNESCO headquarters in Paris to show my pictures from Holocaust survivors around the world. Today you have the possibility to see over 200 pictures from my collection, what I made in the last 5 years. And I'm really thankful that people from the UNESCO and other partners helps me to bring this exhibition here to Paris, the world's largest exhibition in the public space from Holocaust survivors. I remember when I started this project 5 years ago, I met Susan. She's from North Carolina. She gave me an important message for me and for other peoples in the world. She said to me, Luigi, if we forget the past, we are damned to repeat it. I think in these days are really necessary that we stand up together against anti-Semitism, racism, and any kind of hatred. I believe in our democracy, and I believe that our democracy will win. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to take this opportunity to express, on behalf of UNESCO, my most sincere thanks to the World Jewish Congress and to its president, Mr. Ronald Lauder, for the partnership and constant support. Together, we train policymakers to address anti-Semitism through education. We do it across the board and work with ministries of education from all regions. As hate speech, disinformation, conspiracy theories, and Holocaust denial and distortion are spreading online, we provide young people with accurate information about the history of the Holocaust through our joint website, aboutholocaust.org, now available in 19 languages. Aboutholocaust.org serves as a basis for the World Jewish Congress social media campaign, We Remember, through which millions of people across the world will express their solidarity with Holocaust survivors and show that one cannot remain indifferent when minorities are persecuted and human rights threatened. I have the honor of introducing Mr. Ronald Lauder, who will deliver the concluding remarks of our event.
Thank you, Carol. I want to send my special thanks to UNESCO and Director General Audrey Azoulay, along with the missions of Austria, France, Germany, and the European Union for this extraordinary exhibition. This year, 76 years after the soldiers of the Red Army first opened the gates of Auschwitz-Birkenau, the entire world saw the horror inside. We mark Holocaust Remembrance Day on the anniversary of that liberation on January 27, 1945. We remember the 6 million murdered, and remember another number, 1.5 million Jewish children who were murdered along with their entire families. It's a number that is difficult to grasp, while breaking our hearts at the same time. The World Jewish Congress believes that vigilance and remembrance, along with education, are the best ways for the world to never forget this crime, so it never happens again. I'm so pleased that our two organizations, the World Jewish Congress and UNESCO, are working together on another project as well, the aboutholocaust.org website, which is now available in 18 languages. This exhibition that we launched today is different. What better way to remember than to actually see the faces of people who had endured this unbelievable cruelty? The Holocaust survivors in this exhibition are the true heroes of the Jewish people. They are also heroes for all mankind. After all that happened to them, after everything that was taken from them, their families murdered, these people displayed the most amazing courage the world has ever seen. They never sought vengeance. They walked out of those gates. They married and had children, creating families, creating life. In the face of death, they created life. If you want to see what nobility looks like, look in the eyes of these heroic faces. My great thanks once again to UNESCO and Director General Azoulay for this remarkable exhibition. The work of educating young people about the horrors of the Holocaust has never been more important, and we are very thankful to be doing this in partnership with you. Thank you.
Many of the testimonies attached to these portraits are reminiscent of these words of Elie Wiesel. It is up to you now, and we shall help you that my past does not become your future. This reminds us that humanity is capable of the worst and sometimes of the best. But doing the best takes will, it takes commitment, it takes action, it means never standing by, it means standing up for the values we share of human rights and dignity, tolerance and respect. And today, this is our message. Thank you for joining us.